Welcome to the video, everyone. I'm happy to see you. Jiu Jitsu is my favorite sport in the world. I love it. That's the reason that I do this show. I love everything about it. Well, I love almost everything about it. There are some Jiu Jitsu cliches that I think we should maybe leave in the past. Before you stop watching and click to a different video, this will not be an entire video of just me complaining about things, so please stick around. I understand why we have some of these cliches and why they are oft repeated, but let's just have a fun look at some of the things you will for sure hear and see on every jiu-jitsu mat in the world. And while we are taking a fun look at things, let's look at this fun rash guard from Epic Roll, or this fun t-shirt, or these fun joggers. EpicRollBJJ.com has all of the things you need and more, and you can get 15% off everything by using the code podcast15. Don't spend more money on gear that was not designed specifically for jiu-jitsu. Get your stuff from Epic Roll and know that you're getting the best quality gear you can without breaking the bank. Make sure you follow at EpicRollBJJ on Instagram, and they've been giving lots of shout outs to people wearing Epic Roll gear, so make sure you tag them when you post and you might just get a shout out too. If you tag the show at that_jiu-jitsu_podcast, we'll give you a repost as well. EpicRollBJJ.com for everything you need jiu-jitsu related. Podcast 15 to get 15% off. Now, let's see if I can get through these cliches without accidentally adding to the list. Welcome to That Jiu-Jitsu Podcast. When I was talking during the intro, I could almost hear you all thinking, I bet he's going to say Oss, and you're right. I am. If you spend any amount of time on a jiu-jitsu mat, you will hear Oss at least once. And it's usually a very short Oss or a very elongated S in Oss. I have no idea how that will sound into a microphone. Oss is one of those weird things that doesn't really have a set definition or application. And sometimes people say Oss and sometimes people say Oss, and I guess both are right. Oss can be a verbal confirmation, like when an instructor says, "Is everyone good on that technique?" and people respond in the affirmative Oss. Or it can be used as like an exclamation, like you just saw one of your teammates hit the most beautiful, picture perfect helicopter armbar, so you yell Oss really loud as a sign of, hey, I saw that and it was really cool. I personally don't mind Oss. I say it from time to time. I think the reason people get annoyed with this jiu-jitsu cliche is its overuse. Even the best song played too much on the radio can become annoying. I'm okay with Oss, just don't go crazy with it. The next one might be more trope than cliche, but I'm gonna go with it still because I'm not doing a video about tropes anytime soon and there's really nowhere else to put this, so here we go. We all know at least one blue belt who went out and got themselves a jiu-jitsu tattoo. I'm not saying you shouldn't get a jiu-jitsu tattoo, and I've seen some that are actually pretty good. I've also seen some that are pretty bad. Actually, if you have a jiu-jitsu tattoo, send me a picture of it and I'll share it if it's cool. But my big thing here with tattoos is not so much whether you should or shouldn't get one, it's whether you should get one so soon. If you get a jiu-jitsu tattoo before you're, let's say, a purple belt, you're really early in your jiu-jitsu life. It would be like getting a baseball player tattoo after playing 2 seasons of rec baseball. Maybe marinate on it for a bit before going all in like that. Also, if you are going to get a tattoo, maybe don't get one that's tied to a school or an association or a specific instructor. You might have the best intentions to never train anywhere else and get your black belt from this one school, but sometimes shit just happens in your life. I thought I'd be at one school forever, then a pandemic happened and I moved 90 minutes away and now I'm somewhere else. I'd feel pretty dumb if I had a tattoo with my old school's logo. And you never really know what might happen with your coach or that association. What if you got a Team Lloyd Irvin tattoo before you watched this video detailing all of the shitty stuff Lloyd has allegedly done and all of the rape allegations? You might be stuck repping an alleged sexual predator. You don't want that. There are a few jiu-jitsu quotes that get said a lot. The first one is almost exclusively said by white and blue belts. "The ground is my ocean. I'm the shark and you don't even know how to swim." I don't think anyone is really sure who said that first or who it's attributed to, but it's obviously pointing to the fact that an untrained person has no idea what to do on the ground, and you, the experienced grappler, are like a shark in an ocean filled with bad swimmers. The quote loses a little bit of its weight the second you're not the only person in the room who trains, and after a certain point, having the ability to strangle any untrained person in the world loses a little bit of its impressiveness. That's still a cool quote though. The other somewhat cliche quote is, "There's no losing in jiu-jitsu. You either win or you learn." This is a Carlos Gracie Sr. quote, and I like it. When you trained and or compete, there will be times when you get demolished. It's just the nature of the sport, and that's okay so long as you can take something away from that demolishing. Where this quote falls into cliche territory is when it's offered up as an excuse. If you're only ever learning via losses, you're probably not learning enough to prevent those losses. I like this quote, but don't make it a crutch. Have you or someone you know suffered from the blue belt blues? If so, there's help. Blue belt blues, or the blue belt that disappears, is a big cliche in jiu-jitsu. There's the old joke, how do you make someone stop training jiu-jitsu? Give them a blue belt. Actually kind of true. A lot of people get their blue belt and just never train again. I don't think this is a cliche worth trying to stop, because if people want to quit and they don't want to train and they don't like jiu-jitsu, they should be allowed to leave without getting harassed. But I think it is something that can be prevented if you're looking to avoid this trap. If you're close to your blue belt or you've just been promoted, I think there's a natural high and then there can be an immediate letdown. Number one, you went from one of the better white belts at your school to now being one of the lower blue belts. That is a big dynamic shift, and that can be tough to deal with. Also, it's easy as a white belt to look at blue belt as a goal, and it should be a goal to get your blue belt, but it's not the final goal. It's a short-term goal, not a long one, and you shouldn't lose sight of the long-term goals when you accomplish the short-term ones. Usually, after you survive the blue belt blues, you'll graduate to the purple belt that skips warm-ups. I never skip warm-ups, even when I was a purple belt, because I'm just the most perfect jiu-jitsu student that there ever was. But this is another thing that sort of started as a meme and turned into a cliche via overuse, and I don't really think that many purple belts are actually skipping warm-ups every day, but I do just like any extra chance to be mean to purple belts. Which ones did I miss? Which cliches drive you nuts? Let me know down in the comments. I guess the best thing to do is get through the blue belt blues by remembering the ground is your ocean, and when the purple belt who skips warm-ups beats you up, just remember to learn something from it, and that way it won't be a loss, and everyone will be super impressed with your new jiu-jitsu face tattoo that you'll be drowning in Ossssss. I think I got them all in there. Thank you all for watching. I hope I have helped you avoid falling into some jiu-jitsu cliches and that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, then do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I'd suggest checking out one of these videos next, and I will see you all next time.